Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marissa and I'm the creator behind Missouri Makes. You can find me on Ravelry as Missouri Makes, and you can find me on Instagram as Missouri_Makes. Anything I talk about will be in show notes on my Ravelry group. I can't promise that they're going to be there right away this time, but they will be there eventually. If you have any questions about this video or any previous video that I have put out, you can always ask in the comments section and I will be happy to answer any questions. Let's go ahead and get the elephant out of the room. I have been MIA for close to 2 weeks. I want to say close to 2 weeks. I tried to put out a video last week. It didn't work. It wouldn't load onto, it loaded to the computer. I edited it, but it wouldn't load onto YouTube. And it's just as well, it wasn't a very good video. I was just trying to quickly do something to put something out instead of giving you good content. And not to say that I put out the best content now, but compared to what I do put out, it was not very good. Me and my husband and my stepdaughter tested positive for COVID, and Jody had coughing and congestion, and she said she had a little bit of body aches, but she got through hers. I felt like I'd been run over by a bus. I was crappy feeling, but I got through mine in about 4 days, give or take. I'm not going to say that I felt the greatest afterwards, but the majority of my symptoms were gone in 4 days. We took a home test the Monday that we went to St. Louis that I had talked about. We took a home test and tested positive, and then my husband's boss had him take a test Wednesday because the home tests are not 100% accurate. He had him take a test Wednesday, and it came back positive. And by the time mine came back positive, I was about done with mine. I thought I had a head cold because about once a year, whenever it starts the weather change and stuff, I get sick about once a year, and I didn't feel any different than any other time, you know. So I didn't think twice about it. My husband got sick and was pretty much bedridden from Wednesday night up until yesterday. I don't know when this video is going out, but today is October 25th. Today's Monday. Tuesday of last week, we called an ambulance, and the ambulance drivers came, the EMTs came, and they told him that he was slightly dehydrated and that there was nothing an ER could do for him, and that just to keep doing what he's doing. And we heard about a COVID infusion, and I ended up making an appointment for him for Tuesday night around 5 o'clock to get an infusion. And when he got there, they told him that he was so dehydrated that they couldn't even IV him. He was that far gone. And he wasn't eating. He wasn't sleeping good. He didn't get out of bed. His fever got up to 103. He wasn't puking, but he couldn't keep anything down. Everything sent him straight to the bathroom. He was not looking good. And we got the infusion Tuesday. They ended up having to give him 4 shots in the stomach that they compared to an insulin shot. I've never had shots in my stomach, much less insulin shots, so I don't know what it's like. I can't compare it to anything. he said they hurt. And they said that it would take longer to come into effect. Because the IV pumps it through him quickly, the shots are going to take longer, but they will work. And each day he was getting better. Each day he had been getting better. And yesterday his appetite came back, and he was not eating like he was, but he compared to a week ago, I mean, he was eating good. And we got his hydration under control. And today, the 25th, I woke up to him actually walking the floors, because he's talked about how he is weak in the legs, and going from the bed to the couch just completely wears him out, and he's ready for a nap. He's been coughing a lot and coughing stuff up, and that makes him want to take a nap because it wears him out. And today he was actually walking the floors trying to build his strength up, and he actually ate some, and he actually acts like my husband now. And I thank God for all of the prayers that everybody prayed for him, you know. I know that we prayed day in and day out because we didn't know what was going to happen. But God answers prayers. And I am so grateful that he is getting back to being healthy again. I know that he's got a journey ahead of him, trying to build his strength up and everything, but I see really, really good progress in him, and I know that he's going to get better now, you know. I knew he was going to get better before because I have faith in God, and I know that he had it, but someone just, I don't know, you try really hard not to be scared or to stress over it, but at the same time you're human, so. But we got through it, and everything's okay now. And I apologize for not putting any content out. And this week is not going to be any different. This is the only video I will be putting out this week. I hope within the next week or two, my content will get back to its normal. But as of right now, he is still home because he is trying to get his strength back so he can go back to work, and he is my first priority. So this is the only video that I'm going to be putting out this week, and I'm just going to give you kind of an update of what I have done and what I have bought recently, you know, before we got sick, or before he got sick. I haven't done a whole lot of crochet or knitting. I did finish my poncho, and I will show you that here in a bit. And I've got another finished object here. I've got another thing on the needles, and I've got another project that I'm not going to show you what the exact project is yet because it's still drying. Hopefully the next video I'll show you what it is. That takes two. It's mitts. I've only got one of them done, so I'm going to wait until I've got them both made and they're dry before I show you what it is. But I will show you the yarn that is required for it so that when the pattern does come out, you will be able to get the yarn and make it yourself. Let's go ahead and do finished objects first. And the first finished object is this hat. Sorry about that. That was the FedEx truck. His sister's been going to the store as much as possible for us, and we've had other people bring us stuff, which we are blessed to have, but what little they haven't been bringing, I've been ordering online and having it delivered, because I personally don't drive right now. I'm working on getting my driver's license, but I personally don't drive right now, and I haven't went and gotten tested to see if I'm negative yet, which I know I am, but just in case, I don't want to give it to anybody else, so I'm just kind of gladly staying home right now. But the first finished object is this hat. Now, I have sent a picture put a picture on Instagram of this hat, but I don't know if it does it justice. It's kind of blown out. Anything that comes into our yard, they have a cow. But this is crocodile stitch, or it looks like dragon scales, whatever. And I've seen people use this stitch for, I guess you would call it acorn hats, and do like a fall themed. All I did was I was needing something to just keep my mind off of things, and that was different than what I had going already. So I came to my shelf and grabbed a skein of yarn and started working. And this is what it looks like. It's so dorky, but I love it. I have a size 22-inch head, and this fits comfortably. It's not snug on me, so yeah. And this took, hold on one second. This took one skein and a partial of the second skein. This is what I have left of the second skein, and you can tell that there's some missing, so it took a little bit of this. What I did was I started with my chain down here, and I worked up and decreased and did once I got to a certain point, and it took a little bit to finish the top, and then it wasn't quite long enough for my likings, so I came back down to the bottom and I did a round of back post, front post here, and then a round of single crochet to finish it off, just so that it would come down far enough, because I thought that I had my decreases at the right time, but evidently I didn't, and so it was a little short. But if you look, there's my ear. It comes down. I think it is stinking cute. That's the first one. The yarn that I used is Vanna's Choice by Lion Brand. It is a number 4 medium weight yarn, 100% acrylic. Excuse me. I think that I used a 5mm crochet hook. It was either a 5mm or a 5.5. And there's 170 yards per skein. And I used one whole skein plus part of another to make this, because the type of stitch that is, it is a big time yarn eater. So keep that in mind. If you are interested in a tutorial on that, I would be happy to start working on that. Just let me know down in the comment section down below. The color I used is terracotta, which is the same color that I used in my crochet pumpkin square, the orange part. And I still have another one here to work with, so these two are partials, and so there's probably, between the two of them, there's probably a skein and a half there. So yeah, that's the first finished object. This is the second finished object. I worked and worked. It seemed like I worked and worked and worked and worked to get this done. And I know that it was just me, because I didn't have that much more to go. I had just over half of a cake to do. I don't remember. I didn't bring the label with me. But this is the poncho, and hopefully I'll either insert a video or a picture right about here to show you what it looks like all the way. But that is what it looks like. Sorry. See? And I made a V-neck in mine. You don't have to make a V-neck in yours. I do have a video tutorial for this, and it will be coming out shortly. I still have to edit it and everything, so it's going to be a little while. But there is a video tutorial for this. This is a 4-point shawl. It is simple stitches. You just have to know how to chain, how to herringbone, half double crochet, and that's it. There's 2 stitches in this. I did herringbone, half double crochet, and I did chain stitch. The chain stitch, if you look, see the lacy bits in there. So it don't take much for this. You will need 2 cakes of mandala. There's 590 yards per cake, and I did not grab the I got a little bitty bit left of the last cake, so you're going to need close to 1,200 yards to make this size. I like my shirts to be a little bit big, but I wear a size 1X in shirts, and I am broad-shouldered, so you are more than welcome to make this as big as you want. This is plenty big on me. 2 cakes did it plenty. If you are smaller, if you wear a small, if you're smaller, you may be able to get by with 1 cake. For me, I used 2, and I used all, like I said, this much of the second cake. I wouldn't have even been able to go all the way around. But you can see here, there's 4 points in the poncho, and it's a well-known color. I just can't remember what it's called. I have had it on my shelf for forever, and I was trying to get rid of some of the bigger stuff off my shelf so that I could add more, because I've got a bucket over there that's full of yarn, and I've got 2 bags over here that I just bought that's got yarn in it, and I've got a couple bags over here that I gotta figure out a place to put. I've got a bucket over there of yarn that I took off my shelf because I'm fixing to put it out for sale. So I've got a whole bunch of different stuff that I gotta get done. But that's my 2 finished objects as of right now. Like I said, I do have a pair of men's hand mitts that I've got one made and it's drying, and I gotta make the other one. But hopefully by the time I put out the next video, I'll have it all done. So let's go ahead and go to work in progress. This I have showed several times on here, and I am on the toe now. I have started the decreases for the toe. This is my sock that I'm working on. This is the first one. This is how much I have left of the first ball. I'll weigh them whenever I'm done to see how much I used. This is my own hand-dyed yarn. This is 75-25 base of my sock yarn. And okay, I use Chiaogu, either mini twist or red twist needles. They're 8 and 9 inch circulars in here. There's 3 different cable sizes, and I use the smallest one, I believe. This is a size 1 needle, which is a 2.25 millimeter. I do have an affiliate link down in the description box down below for the needles, and I believe I have a affiliate link for the Lion brand yarn which I can put down in the description box down below. This colorway is not currently being sold because, if I'm not mistaken, this was one of those that I just threw in all of, because I was dyeing yarn and I had leftovers that I didn't know what to do with, and so I put a yarn mop in my pan and I just started pouring everything in, and if I'm not mistaken, that's what this yarn is. So this is not a repeatable colorway. This is just, and I made a pair of socks, if you remember, if you've been here a time or two, I made a pair of socks for my husband that are DK weight, and all I did was hold 2 strands of this colorway together and made him a pair of DK weight socks. So I'm making me a pair to match his. I started in on Christmas knitting. I don't know if I'll have it done by Christmas because I am slow at knitting, but this is 2 days worth, and I'd say that I've done pretty good because I have finished a mitt yesterday. Pretty much did all of it yesterday, and I've done this, and yeah, so I'm going to say that for everything, I'm going to say that I did okay. But this is Expression Fiber Arts puts out a new free pattern, at least one free pattern every Friday. And last week's free pattern, last Friday, they put out a like infinity scarf called Ghost Prairie. I know that's what it's called. I will pop in a picture over here. Get myself correct here. I'll put a picture in over here somewhere of the actual, their version of it. It's beautiful. Yes. No, I was wrong. It's Prairie Ghost, not Ghost Prairie. But I will put the video down in the description box below of the Expression Fiber Arts, because they put a video every Friday of the new free pattern, and they explain the inspiration behind it and everything. But this will go into what I bought over the weekend when we went to St. Louis. And so this is the pattern. And I am really liking this pattern. It is simple. I do have to look at the pattern every time I start knitting on it. It's not one of those that you can just knit and go. Not for me, at least. I do consider myself a beginner knitter, so maybe for an advanced or an intermediate knitter it may be easier, but for me, because I am not established, like grounded in my knitting yet, I still have to look at the pattern for every row. But they have a short version and they have a long version. I am going to do probably some in the middle because the yarn that I'm using is supposed to stretch. I didn't do a gauge swatch before, and I know I should have, but this is one of those. I don't swatch usually for hats, and I don't swatch usually for scarves or shawls. Hats, I might, depending on... I don't swatch for hats when I'm crocheting. I may swatch for a hat whenever I'm knitting, but shawls and scarves and stuff like that, I don't swatch for. And so, but I have heard other people talk about this yarn, and they say that it stretches a lot. So I figure I won't make the short version, but I won't make the long. I'll just kind of be in between, because this is a 12-row repeat. So this is what it looks like. We do have 4 stitch cables, and we have 6 stitch cables. I don't know if that's the technical term for that, but we have cables that consist of 6 stitches and cables that consist of 4 stitches. And then other than that, there's a double decrease. There's purling in the back loop, which I love purling in the back loop. I don't know why, but I like purling in the back loop. I think more than doing the knit stitch. I like purling in the back loop. And I originally started out, this pattern calls for worsted weight yarn, and I knew this pattern was meant for my sister-in-law because she asked for a scarf thing, whatever, shawl, and she wanted it pink. And I found the perfect pink while I was up in St. Louis and knew that that's what I was going to knit her piece out of. But the yarn that I chose was a DK weight. And so the yarn called for in the pattern is a worsted weight. And they call for, let me look. Yeah, size 8, which is a 5mm knitting needle. So I started out with the size 8 knitting needle with the DK weight yarn to see what it looked like, and it was too loose for my liking. So I went down 2 sizes, and I'm currently using a 6, which is a 4mm. And I am loving the fabric. It is drapey and squishy and soft. This down here is called a provisional cast on, and that's what they recommend. I am doing things in here that I've never done, which is provisional cast on. I don't know if I've ever done a double decrease. I may have. I don't know. The Hohi Locatelli shawl that I made may require it. I don't know. I can't remember. It's been a minute. But these type of cables here, I've never done before. I've done something similar to this cable here, but I've never done this type of cable here. And so, yeah, I am really, really enjoying this pattern. And so far, I've gotten done 2 repeats, plus almost a third one. I'm almost done with the 3rd repeat. So this is what 2 plus 8 rows out of 12 of the 3rd one. That's what that looks like. I have heard that this yarn stretches a lot, so I am curious to see what it will look like. Here it is. Hold on. I got stuff piled up here. This is some of the yarn that I got from St. Louis when we were up there with his sister. It's called Trubu. It is 100% rayon from bamboo. There's 241 yards or 220 meters per skein. It is 100 grams. Like I said, it's a DK weight. The color that I got is mushroom. But yeah, they say that bamboo stretches. I currently do not know. I've never worked with 100% bamboo that I can remember. But I think this is one of my favorite pinks. It is a dusty pink, and I am really, really enjoying this knit, which I enjoy all my knits, but at some point I get tired and I just want to get it done. That's why some of my hats come out too short, because I just want it done and over with so I can go to the next thing, because I get impatient. But this one I'm really enjoying every stitch. The knitting needles that I'm using is just the Lion brand bamboo needles. I am not a fan of the Lion brand knitting needles, but this yarn that I'm using is a very slick yarn, and so the bamboo knitting needles that I'm using, that's gliding through it just fine. If I used metal, it would probably, I would probably have a lot of trouble of keeping my stitches on if I was using metal. So I'm glad that I have bamboo. I'm going to say that's probably the only bamboo needle that I have, but I am glad that I have it. I think it's a 16-inch circular. Okay, so we're going to go on to the other yarns that I bought. I bought the True Boo at Joann's, because I went to Joann's and I went to Michael's, and the True Boo regular priced was $5.99. And because I bought, I want to say that I bought 5 skeins. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I bought 5 skeins because I didn't know what I wanted to do, because I didn't have that pattern in mind whenever I bought the yarn. I just knew that I was going to make her something, and I currently don't have a Joann's near me. I have to drive like to St. Louis or whatever. It's 3 hours away. So I don't have a Joann's near me, and I didn't want to have to order online. So I bought 5 skeins, and whenever I have extra, I'll just do something else with it. I thought about making a hat maybe. But I paid $5.99 regular price, and because I bought a bunch of different things, I got $5 off of $35 and 50% off of one of my items. So what I got there was 5 skeins of True Boo, and then I got this off of clearance, which is Moroccan Nights, and it was clearanced out to $2.97. I don't know if that is picking up. This is what it looks like. There's different shades of purple on the inside. I don't know if you've ever worked with it. I've never worked with it personally. It's not like the softest, but it's not bad. It is 98 acrylic, 2% polyester. It is considered a DK weight, which I'm going to say that's more of a sport. 237 yards per skein. I thought maybe I could make a pair of house socks or something with it. I wouldn't make socks to go out in, but I thought maybe doing house socks with it to wear around the house. It was purple. I had to have it. I mean, yeah. And it's, yeah, like I said, it's not soft. It doesn't really, it has a slight halo on it, but nothing extravagant. The color that I have is Palace. Because this is clearanced out, I don't know if it's discontinued. If I can find it online, I'll put it in the description box. And that is all I got over at, no, that is not. I got another skein of the Big Twist Twinkle. I bought 3 skeins of this, if you recall, a couple months ago. And I wanted one more to, if I wanted to make a bigger project. There's 380 yards per skein, 347 meters, 170 grams. It is a number 4 weight yarn. It's 100% acrylic. Color I got is gray. Machine washable, low iron, do not bleach, do not tumble dry, dry clean, dry flat. I would personally recommend hand washing and laying flat to dry. I don't put much of anything in the washer or dryer that I have made, unless it might be a blanket. Blankets, maybe, but like pieces like this, I would never put in the washer or dryer, even if it says I can. But it is sparkle yarn, hence the name Twinkle. See if that picks it up. I don't know. You might be able to see it. It's just a light gray, but I wanted to be able to do something. I wanted to be able to do something bigger with it. I don't know if I said what the content is. It's 97 acrylic, 3 metallic fiber. So that's what that is, and that's going to go on my shelf back here on my gray section. Okay, I went to Michael's first, and then I went to Joann's when we were up there in St. Louis. And this is what I got at Michael's. I don't have a Michael's near me either. All I've got is a Hobby Lobby as far as I know. If I go down to Jonesboro, Arkansas, I can hit a Joann's down there, but that's still an hour drive down. 45 minutes to an hour drive down. So I don't go down there very often unless I'm going down to see family. I got 4 cakes, 2 of this color. Whenever I purchased these were buy one, get one 50% off. And there's the receipt. Let's see. Okay, so these were buy one, get one 50% off. And then the rest of what I got, I had a 20% off coupon. So regular price, these were $7.99. And so the first one was $7.99, and then the second one was $3.99. So $12, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, $12 for 2. I guess that's okay. But that is the first color I got. This is the color that called to me. I got a purple too, but it's not quite right. It's not quite what I want. Or, I don't know. Maybe the colors are just positioned differently than what I would put them. I don't know. I do like it, and I'm going to make something really pretty with it, but this is number 4 medium weight yarn. Colorway is Fairy Cake. 80 acrylic, 20 wool. 383 yards per cake. And these are just called Karen Cakes by Yarnspirations. And yeah, you can see here, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different colors. There's a lighter blue in here, so I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but I got 2 of those. And then I got this. Now I love this. I love purples. Purple is my favorite color, and if I have the option to get purple, I get purple. I don't know. It looks prettier looking at it now than whenever I was looking at it in the store. So, yeah. But, I don't know. Super, super soft. I like Karen Cakes, personally. I like them. Same stats on it. 383 yards, 80-20 acrylic wool blend, medium weight 4. This one's called Bumbleberry. I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me. But that is the colorway. And I got 2 of these. And then I got these buttons for a project, and I'm going to end up not using them. So I'll have buttons for something else. So, and then we ended up getting Jody something for Christmas. So these buttons, if it matters, I don't know if that matters. They're just Michael's buttons. They're nothing. They're Loops and Thread brand, which is Michael's. I'm going to say $3.49 for these, and there's 20 in it. They're just wooden buttons. Nothing special. But yeah. That is what I got at Michael's. I didn't get a whole bunch, but I did get some. And so I was excited about that. And you know what? I'll go ahead and show you. Hold on. It's wet, so you'll have to excuse it. But okay, so I am working on men's fingerless mitts. Not fingerless mitts. Just men's mitts. And this yarn that I'm using is 100% alpaca. I'm making these to where they are really snug on Doug's hands, because I want something that's close to the skin so it's easier to work. I don't want it baggy or bulky. So I'm making it. He usually wears a extra large in men's gloves, and so these are too big on me, but I will put it on to give you kind of a gist. These are inside out as well. When it dries, I'll put them right side out. But there is the glove, and it's got the flap over that is gonna, his hands are really big compared to mine, but there. And all I gotta do is sew in the thumb and sew in the other ends, and it is done. It is really dark on camera because it's still wet, but it's kind of like a cranberry red. The yarn that I used, I told you that I had a couple events this month and a couple events next month, and I wasn't able to get through and show you everything for the last event because of everything that happened. But in November, what's her name? Yellow Cottage Crochet, I think. There'll be links down in the description box where you can find her. But she is hosting an event for men's crocheted items, and I signed up for it. And with that, we were blessed to get yarn sent to us from We Crochet, which is Knit Picks. And so I have a sample in the house of the mitt in my hand dyed yarn, which is in a sport weight. And so I went and found a sport weight on We Crochet to get, and this is called Andine Treasure. It is a sport weight yarn. It's called Embers Heather. There's 110 yards per 50 grams. It is 100% baby alpaca yarn, and I am loving this yarn. It is soft, it is squishy, it is just, it's awesome. And I am using a 5mm H hook. I'm gonna say it's 5mm. I just can't remember the letter. It's either a G or an H. I think it's an H. And that is the color. It's really nice. If you look, I thought that I was gonna have plenty with 2 skeins of this yarn to make these mitts, because the original sample has ribbing on it, and the mitt that I showed you, I used every little bit of yarn. So this is the yarn. It is soft and squishy. This pattern is going to be out probably in the middle of November, so you can get your hands on it. I was able to make 1 mitt in a day. That was constantly working on it, and so depending on how fast you crochet and everything will depend on how quick it takes you to make it. This yarn I absolutely love. If I had the option, I would grab one more to be able to do ribbing and stuff, but I don't have time to. Maybe later in the future I will go back and add ribbing to it. So if you want to make this pattern, the pattern is going to consist of 2 skeins of Andine Treasure sport weight, or you can use any 2-weight yarn as long as you meet gauge to make this. If you're making the pattern to the T of what I write and your gauge is on, you are going to play yarn chicken getting it all done. If you do not like playing yarn chicken and you want to be sure that you have enough, and that if you want to put ribbing on it, if you want to put ribbing on your glove, then I would grab one more of these. So in total, if you don't want to play yarn chicken, if you want to add ribbing to your glove, grab 3 total. So I have 2 here. It's going to be plenty for doing this, but later in the future I will probably add ribbing to mine. So that being said, this pattern will probably be out middle of November, so be on the lookout for it. It is a very, very nice yarn. It says hand wash and dry flat. Alpaca is supposed to stretch, so once it dries, I'll be able to tell for sure, because I didn't swatch, because I already had one made. It was just made in 100% Peruvian Highland wool, you know. I should have swatched. I didn't swatch. But anyways, once it's all dry and everything, I will find what the gauge is and stuff and write it in the pattern. But yeah, that's coming. It'll be here before you know it, because time has just gone by so fast. And let's see. Can't think of anything else. I have put a lot into this video. There ain't no telling how long this video is going to be, because this is the second part. So I am going to leave you at that. I don't know when this video is going to be posted, like I said, but I do hope that y'all have a great day, and hope that y'all do something fun over the weekend. Whether it's just crochet, sitting on the couch crocheting and watching a good show. Whatever. That's my kind of fun. Oh, I don't know if I said, this video tutorial will be out in a couple weeks too. So, be on the lookout for it. I'll have the written pattern later too, but this is, I'm just going to do the video tutorial for now. But anyways, I digress. I will see y'all another day. I hope that y'all have a wonderful day, and stay crafty.